establish objectivity from it, point a finger at it, and intuitively you'll realize at that moment it to be not who you are, as everything you just thought you were. And that's an ego death. And shit gets real weird from there, because no longer will you be able to go slip back into the subjective seat of that subconscious mind and get away from yourself in the same way that you were, which is identifying as it. And you are now with one, and it's yours, and it'll be in between you and seeing a fresh, new, clean day every day until you deal with the shit that's inside of it. That is misunderstandings. And you know, it is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing to blame yourself for, although you've got to go through a period of blaming yourself out of love to get, because oh my God, dude, you know, it's not your fault that you have all these misunderstandings, and they weren't misunderstandings at the time as a child. You know, you don't even know English, and your parents, I say this often, but it's so the truth, drop you off at the babysitter for the first time and leave, and you harness and the feelings of abandonment at that time, not understanding that, you know, she's going to make money to get y'all food and stuff, and that's got to happen. And it's things like that that you're going to have to heal from, and you're going to have to go through this phase of kind of, you will blame your parents for a minute, but the true answer to that question is the true understanding, the truth of that, what's going to get you over that problem as the answer, is exactly what it takes to realize and to forgive your parents, forgive yourself for blaming yourself. You know, empathy. And that we do all of these things, man. You know, being a child, having a child, it's impossible as a human being not to grow up with extreme just trauma, dude. You're born, like, it's why your eyes are closed when you're born. If your eyes were open when you were born, you'd never get over it. And you go from this state of sleep into life. And it's just instant healing, pain that you harness until you feel the hurt of it, you know, to heal from it. And it is this pain, and it is the way that parenting, you know, there's a giant parenting problem, and the amount of trauma and that's going to be awakened from inside of us as humans, because we now have access to all this information online, and it's hearing itself, and you're seeing yourself and learning about yourself, and it's going to snap into consciousness, and you're going to be left with it, and it's going to be full of all this shit that nobody has got the answer for but you. And it's hell. You know, the entry into hell is real abrupt, inescapable. And you know, until you go through it, that's where you are in this place, man. That's where you are in this place. And it's a matter of time until you wake up and realize yourself there to be there. And you know, it's no more than the truth that we're in a state of subconscious being as humans, and we're gonna it's gonna shift into this state of conscious being. And the mess is just on the level of the individual that stands in between that transition, and the lack of information and the lack of support there will be has driven me, I guess, to this place of, you know, I could make some class on, as I said, the important thing to remember is the exact answer to the problem you're going to be left with is yourself, and an understanding of it that you've got to put together. That could serve as an answer, but that very understanding is all up to you. And dude, it is not fun. when I tell you, I just hope that the way that in which it will happen there will be, it was going to be so kind of sudden, relatively speaking, the time, that it'll be a kind of support each other thing and more of an understanding of the process that's about to take place. But it's a real lonely move, and that's because it's into the establishment of individuality and what it means to be an individual, and a hard pivot away from this idea of collectivism, being for other people, turning yourself into what everyone else wants of you, to get away from it, and the addressing of any and every problem that stands in the way of you and the truth of what it means to be a conscious human being, that is love for yourself, that is reflected in empathy as the truth, that the love we have for one another, and helpless, hopeless, meaninglessness, all of it. It's a real deep ocean, real deep pool to swim through, but I'll just leave that here for now. I don't even